The Blackwood estate had stood on the highest hill in Greenwich, Connecticut, for over a century. Its sprawling grounds and Victorian architecture represented old money, family legacy, and the power of inheritance. How fitting that I now owned every brick of it through a shell company my family didn't even know existed. I adjusted my deliberately modest watch, a simple Timex that made my older brother Marcus cringe, and drove my 5-year-old Honda through the ornate gates. The security system silently logged my entry, sending an alert to my private server. Owner on premises. Owner. The word still brought a smile to my face. Mr. Alexander Blackwood Winston, our family butler, greeted me with a knowing look. He was one of only 3 people who knew the truth about my financial empire. The family is gathered in the main dining room. Your father has an announcement. The new will? I asked quietly. Winston nodded. He seems quite determined. Of course he was. Father had always been determined about everything, especially when it came to favoring Marcus, the responsible son who followed the traditional path: Harvard Business School, Wall Street job, marriage to a socialite, and 2 perfectly presented children. I, on the other hand, was the disappointment. The son who rejected a banking career to waste time on tech startups and real estate ventures. At least that's what they thought. Walking into the dining room, I took in the familiar scene. Marcus held court at the right hand of father's chair, his wife Diana nodding admiringly at his every word. Their children Bradford and Elizabeth sat perfectly poised in their prep school uniforms. Mother occupied her usual place, elegant and distant as always. Alex, Marcus's voice carried that special mix of condescension and pity. We were just discussing my new position on the board of First Atlantic Bank. Quite a responsibility, managing the family's banking relationships. I took my usual seat, the furthest from father's position. Congratulations. What Marcus didn't know was that I owned controlling interest in First Atlantic through one of my holding companies. His new board seat was essentially a gift from his unsuccessful brother. Alexander, mother's voice held its usual edge of disappointment. Couldn't you have worn something more appropriate for a family dinner? I glanced down at my deliberately chosen outfit. Khakis from Target, a button-down shirt that was one size too large, and scuffed loafers. The perfect costume for the role I'd been playing. Sorry, Mother. Management salary doesn't stretch far these days. Diana, Marcus's wife, exchanged a knowing look with my mother. Well, at least you're employed. Even if it is just running that little tech support company. If they only knew. My little tech support company was a carefully constructed facade for Blackwood Innovations, a technology and real estate conglomerate worth $12 billion. While they thought I was fixing computers in a small office park, I was actually orchestrating global acquisitions and revolutionary tech developments. That's actually why I've called this meeting. Father announced, entering the room with his usual commanding presence. It's time we discussed the future of the Blackwood estate and our family legacy. I noticed Winston discreetly positioning himself by the door, ready to witness what was coming. We'd planned this moment carefully. As you all know, Father continued, this estate has been in our family for generations. Its proper management is crucial to maintaining the Blackwood name and position in society. Marcus straightened in his chair, already practicing his gracious acceptance smile. I've made some changes to my will, Father declared. Given the different paths my sons have taken, I believe it's important to ensure the estate remains in capable hands. Mother nodded approvingly. Of course, dear. Therefore, Father picked up a thick envelope. I've decided that upon my passing, the entire Blackwood estate, along with the majority of our family holdings, will transfer to Marcus and his children. Diana actually clapped her manicured hands. Oh, how wonderful. We'll maintain all the traditions, won't we, darling? Marcus nodded solemnly. The Blackwood legacy will be preserved, Father. You can count on me. I took a slow sip of water, hiding my smile. The timing was perfect. What about Alexander? Mother asked, almost as an afterthought. There will be a reasonable provision. Father assured her, a small apartment in the city perhaps, and enough to maintain a modest lifestyle. Winston caught my eye. Time for Act 1. Actually, I said quietly. There's something we should discuss before you finalize that will. Marcus laughed. Come on, little brother. Don't make this awkward. We all know you're not exactly qualified to manage an estate of this magnitude. I reached for my briefcase, not the cheap one they could see, but a hidden compartment containing the documents I'd prepared. About the estate's ownership, I began. Father waved his hand dismissively. It's been in our family for generations. The title is clear, was clear. I corrected, laying out the first document. Until Harrison Holdings acquired it last month. The room went silent. That's impossible, Marcus sputtered. I would have known. I'm on the bank's board. A board seat doesn't give you access to private holding company transactions. I explained, laying out more papers. Harrison Holdings purchased the estate, the grounds, and all associated properties through a series of perfectly legal transactions. Father's face had gone pale. Who is Harrison Holdings? I pulled out my phone and opened a secure app. Would you like to see the ownership structure? Mother grabbed the papers with trembling hands. This can't be right. The estate isn't for sale. It was when the property taxes went unpaid for 2 quarters. I said calmly. Something about First Atlantic Bank missing some crucial payments. Interesting oversight for a board member, Marcus. My brother's face went from red to white. That was a temporary administrative error. An error that put the estate into default, I continued. Allowing an interested buyer to step in. Quite legally, I might add. Father stood up so quickly his chair fell backward. Who owns Harrison Holdings? I demand to know. I stood slowly, removing my cheap watch and carefully disheveled jacket. I do, along with Blackwood Innovations, Global Tech Solutions, and about 30 other companies you've never heard of. Diana actually gasped. The tech support company is a cover for a technology and real estate empire worth roughly $12 billion. I finished. Would you like to see the quarterly reports? Our space program is particularly interesting. Marcus lunged for the papers. You're lying. This is some kind of trick. Winston, I called. Please show them the live feed from our Tokyo office. The butler, who was actually my chief of global operations, activated the dining room's hidden screens. Suddenly the walls displayed real-time data from Blackwood Innovations offices worldwide. Market caps, stock prices, acquisition reports, and development projects scrolled past in an overwhelming display of corporate power. While you were playing banker, I told Marcus, I was building something real, something bigger than trust funds and society parties. Mother had sunk into her chair. But you're the you never what, Mother? Never lived up to the Blackwood name. I'd say buying the entire family estate qualifies as living up to it. Father found his voice. Why the deception? Why pretend to be unsuccessful? Because you taught me an important lesson, Father. You taught me that the Blackwood name opens doors, but it also creates expectations, limitations. So I built my empire without it. No family connections, no inherited privilege, just hard work and strategy. Diana was frantically typing on her phone. Oh my God, he's telling the truth. Blackwood Innovations just acquired that tech company everyone's been talking about. An hour ago actually, I confirmed. While you were discussing Marcus's board seat, I was closing a $3 billion deal. Father slumped back into his chair. The will is irrelevant, I finished. You can't will away something you don't own. But don't worry. I have plans for the estate. Better plans. What kind of plans? Marcus demanded, trying to sound authoritative despite his obvious shock. First, it's going to become the global headquarters of Blackwood Innovations. These grounds will house the most advanced technology research campus in the world. Mother actually whimpered. But the gardens, the social events, will be replaced by something that actually matters. Innovation, creation, progress. The things the Blackwood name should stand for. You can't do this. Marcus stood up. I'm the heir. I'm the one who followed tradition. Following tradition isn't the same as earning success, I replied calmly. But I'm not heartless. I'm offering all of you a choice. Winston stepped forward with 4 envelopes. Inside each envelope is a job offer, I explained. Real positions within my companies, not handed to you because you're Blackwoods, but because I believe you each have potential, if you're willing to earn it. Jobs. Diana looked horrified. Like, actual work, starting at entry level, learning the business properly. No shortcuts, no special treatment. Father picked up his envelope slowly. And if we refuse, then you're welcome to leave with your current assets, which after Marcus's recent investment mistakes, amount to considerably less than you think. My brother blanched. How did you know about? I know everything. I had to. To protect my investments. I straightened my now impeccable tie. So what's it going to be? Continue playing at success, or learn how to actually achieve it? Mother opened her envelope with trembling fingers. This says, Junior Client Relations Coordinator. A position you'll need to earn through actual work, not social connections. And mine? Marcus asked, his voice smaller than I'd ever heard it. Entry-level project manager. In our Tokyo office. Hope you're ready to learn Japanese. Diana was nearly hyperventilating. This is insane. We're Blackwoods. Not anymore, I corrected. Now you're potential employees of Blackwood Innovations. If you choose to accept. Father stood again, but this time slowly, thoughtfully. All these years, while we thought you were failing, I was succeeding, on my own terms. Now I'm offering you the chance to do the same. The room fell silent as my family faced their new reality. The estate's lights hummed softly, cameras monitoring every angle, sending data to my secure servers. This was my domain now. Every brick, every tile, every carefully maintained garden. You have 24 hours to decide, I announced, gathering my papers. Winston will show you the complete terms of employment. Oh, and one more thing. They looked up, still shell-shocked. The estate's dress code is business professional. Those prep school uniforms and society gowns won't be appropriate for a working technology campus. As I walked out, Winston fell into step beside me. Shall I begin the renovation preparations, sir? Yes. And Winston, make sure Marcus's new employee badge lists him as trainee. He needs to understand what real work looks like. And your parents. I paused at the door, looking back at my stunned family. Give them the basic employee housing information. It's time they learned the difference between inherited privilege and earned success. The first Monday after my revelation dawned bright and clear. I stood in my new office, formerly the estate's grand ballroom, watching the construction crews begin transforming the manicured gardens into the future Blackwood Innovations campus. Winston appeared at exactly 7 a.m. Sir, your family has arrived for their first day. They're adjusting. I checked the security feeds. Marcus stood in the employee parking lot, staring at his new assigned spot, no longer next to the main entrance but in row K space 247. His Ferrari had been replaced by a company-issued hybrid sedan. Diana struggled with her employee badge, her designer dress replaced by standard business attire. Mother and father arrived separately, both looking lost without their usual morning routines of social calls and club meetings. Have them report to the main orientation room, I instructed. Time to begin their education. The orientation room, formerly our formal dining room, now featured rows of standard office chairs and a large presentation screen. My family sat awkwardly in the front row, surrounded by other new employees who had no idea they were sitting next to the former owners of the estate. Welcome to Blackwood Innovations, I began, stepping to the podium. You're here because you've shown potential. Nothing else matters. Not your background, not your connections, not your family name. Here you earn your place. Marcus shifted uncomfortably in his chair. Diana kept tugging at her non-designer blazer. Over the next 6 weeks you'll learn our systems, our standards, and our values. Those who succeed will have opportunities for advancement. Those who don't, I let the sentence hang. Mother raised her hand tentatively. Alex, I mean Mr. Blackwood. About the housing arrangements. Standard employee housing is provided during training. I cut in smoothly. Your assigned units are in Building C. The moving company has already transferred your approved personal items. Building C. Diana whispered loudly. But that's the old servants' quarters. Renovated into modern employee apartments, I corrected. Quite comfortable for entry-level staff. The other trainees were starting to look curiously at my family. Father sat straighter, trying to maintain his dignity. Now for your assignments, I began distributing tablets. These contain your training schedules, responsibilities, and performance metrics. Everything is monitored. Everything is evaluated. Marcus grabbed his tablet, probably expecting special treatment. His face fell as he read his schedule. Problem, Mr. Blackwood? I asked pointedly. This says I'm reporting to 2. He stumbled over the words. To the junior development team. Yes. Your Harvard MBA means you understand business theory. Now it's time to learn practical application. The morning proceeded with basic orientation. I watched my family struggle with concepts they'd never considered: time cards, performance reviews, actual work deliverables. Diana nearly fainted when she learned she'd be handling her own administrative tasks without an assistant. At lunch, they discovered another new reality: the employee cafeteria. But we always had lunch at the country club, Mother protested weakly. The cafeteria offers healthy options at employee-subsidized prices, Winston explained, now clearly in his role as operations director. Your employee cards have been credited with standard meal allowances. I watched from my office as they navigated the lunch line, faced with the horror of self-service and plastic trays. Marcus actually tried to demand private table service until a senior developer, who had no idea who he was, laughed and pointed him toward the water dispensers. The afternoon brought their first real tasks. Mother was assigned to shadow our client relations team, learning how real business relationships worked, not through social connections, but through professional service and actual value delivery. Father surprisingly showed the most adaptation. His assignment in product development seemed to spark something in him. I watched him actually engage with the engineering team, asking intelligent questions about our latest innovations. Marcus had the hardest adjustment. His first task was basic code review, something every project manager needed to understand. His frustration at not being automatically in charge was visible. "This is beneath me," he exploded around 3 p.m. "I'm Marcus Blackwood. I sit on bank boards." His team leader, a brilliant developer named Mike, just raised an eyebrow. "Not anymore, you don't. Here you're trainee Blackwood and you haven't earned anything yet." I chose that moment to walk by. "Problem, Marcus," he turned, expecting support. "Alex, this is ridiculous. I have an MBA, and Mike has 3 successful product launches and 15 patents. Who do you think is more qualified to lead?" The lesson hit home. Marcus slumped back into his chair, finally facing reality. Diana lasted until 4 p.m. before having her own meltdown. Her assignment in event coordination, something she thought she knew from planning society parties, proved significantly more challenging when actual budgets and business objectives were involved. "What do you mean I can't order French orchids for the tech conference? The local flowers are so common." Her supervisor, Sarah, just handed her a calculator. "Show me how imported flowers fit into this budget." With real numbers, not social connections. At 5 p.m., I called them all to my office. They looked shell-shocked, disheveled, and thoroughly humbled. "Day 1, I announced. Comments: Mother spoke first, surprising me. I never knew how much work went into real client relationships. It's not just about knowing the right people." "No, it's not," I agreed. "It's about creating actual value." Father nodded slowly. "The innovation team, they're doing remarkable things. Things I never knew we could be part of." Marcus and Diana stayed silent, still processing their new reality. "Your performance reports will be reviewed daily," I continued. "Advancement depends entirely on merit. The Blackwood name means nothing here, except as a reminder of what we're building." "And if we fail?" Marcus asked quietly. "Then you fail, like anyone else. But if you succeed," I gestured to the campus views from my window, "you'll have earned something real, something more valuable than inheritance." They filed out, heading to their employee housing units. Through the security feeds, I watched them face their new accommodations. Comfortable but basic, nothing like their former luxury. Winston appeared with the day's reports. "Their performance metrics, sir." I reviewed the data. Father's showing promise in product development. Mother's actually listening in client relations. Marcus and Diana need significant adjustment. Winston finished diplomatically. "Keep their teams informed. Regular evaluations, no special treatment. They need to learn." As night fell over the transforming estate, I watched construction crews continue their work. The old world of inherited privilege was being replaced by something new, something earned. My phone buzzed with another successful acquisition alert. While my family learned basic business operations, my empire continued growing. But now they had a chance to be part of it. If they could adapt. I opened their personnel files on my secure server. Winston, schedule them for tomorrow's 7 a.m. product review. Let's see how they handle real business hours. Even Diana, sir. Especially Diana. It's time they all learned what actual success looks like. The estate's lights shifted to evening mode, illuminating the growing campus. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new challenges, and perhaps the beginning of real understanding. The Blackwood name was transforming, one humbling lesson at a time. 3 weeks into their employment education, as Winston diplomatically called it, the first real test of my family's transformation arrived in an unexpected form. I was reviewing campus expansion plans when urgent alerts lit up my screens. A major security breach had been detected in our prototype lab, and the source traced back to Marcus's employee credentials. Sir Winston appeared at my door, tablet in hand. We've confirmed the breach. Someone used Mr. Marcus's access codes to download confidential data about Project Phoenix. Project Phoenix, our revolutionary quantum computing initiative, worth billions in potential patents. And now its security was compromised. Location of the download: the Building C apartments, sir. At 2 a.m. this morning, I pulled up the security feeds. Marcus's desperate attempt to prove himself had just crossed a dangerous line. Have security meet me at Building C. And Winston, activate Protocol Omega. I found Marcus in his apartment, frantically typing on his laptop. Diana paced behind him, still in her designer pajamas. Apparently she hadn't fully embraced the employee dress code. Going somewhere, brother? They both jumped. Marcus slammed his laptop shut, but not before I glimpsed his email draft to our biggest competitor. Alex, I was just reviewing some work files. At 2 a.m., using unauthorized access to our most secure project. I stepped into the room as security teams positioned themselves outside. Try again. Diana rushed forward. You don't understand. Marcus deserves to be in charge. This was the only way to prove. To prove what? I cut in coldly. That he's willing to commit corporate espionage? That he still hasn't learned the difference between earning success and stealing it? Marcus stood, desperation in his eyes. They offered me a board position, said if I brought them Project Phoenix data, I could have my old life back. Your old life? I laughed without humor. You mean the life built on father's connections? The one that was falling apart before I bought everything? Security entered smoothly, securing Marcus's laptop and devices. You can't do this, Diana shrieked. We're family. No, I corrected. Right now, you're employees who just committed a serious security breach, and there are consequences. Mother and father appeared in the doorway, drawn by the commotion. They looked different after 3 weeks of actual work. More grounded, less artificial. Alexander, father started. What's happening? Your son just tried to steal corporate secrets to buy his way back into his old lifestyle. I turned to the security team. Full audit of their devices and communications. Lock down all access. Mother stepped forward, but not to defend Marcus. How serious is the breach? I noted her question. Professional, focused on the company's interest rather than family privilege. Maybe some lessons were sinking in. Project Phoenix data is worth billions, I explained. If it had reached our competitors. Father's face hardened. Marcus, how could you? After everything we're learning here. Marcus broke. Learning? We're Blackwoods. We shouldn't have to learn anything. We should be in charge. That's exactly why you needed this lesson, I said quietly. But apparently it wasn't enough. Diana grabbed her phone. I'm calling our lawyer. You mean the company's legal team, who work for me? I took out my own phone. Speaking of calls, would you like to hear the recording of your conversation with Universal Tech last night? The one where you offered to steal our patents? They both went pale. Please, Marcus whispered. We can explain. To the FBI's Corporate Crimes Division, because they're on their way. Mother gasped. Alexander, surely there's another way. I held up my hand. There is. One chance to prove you've learned something these past weeks. The room went silent. Marcus, Diana, you have a choice. Option 1. Face criminal charges for corporate espionage. Your lawyers, bank accounts, and social connections won't help you there. Diana sank onto the standard issue couch. And option 2. Complete reset. You'll be transferred to our Tokyo office, starting in the mailroom. No privileges, no special treatment, not even the Blackwood name. You'll work under different identities, earning every single step up. The mailroom. Marcus looked horrified. With supervised access only. One more breach, and it's federal charges. Father stepped forward. Son, Alexander, I think I understand now. What you've been trying to teach us. I turned to my parents. And what's that, Father? That real success isn't inherited or stolen. It's built. Like you built all this. Not as a Blackwood, but as someone who earned it. Mother nodded slowly. These past weeks in client relations, I've learned more about real business than in 30 years of social networking. I studied them both. Their clothes were simpler now, their manner more genuine. 3 weeks of actual work had started a real transformation. Then you understand why Marcus and Diana need this reset. Yes, Father said firmly. And I think it's time I resigned from my social club boards. The innovation team needs more focus. Mother straightened her non-designer jacket. My client development certification exam is next week. I should be studying instead of worrying about society events. Marcus and Diana stared at their parents in shock. You can't be serious, Diana protested. You're choosing this common work over family tradition. No, Mother replied calmly. We're choosing real achievement over empty status. Something your brother tried to teach us from the beginning. I turned back to my brother and his wife. Tokyo or federal charges? Choose now. Marcus slumped in defeat. When do we leave? Tonight. Winston has your new documentation ready. You'll be Mark and Dana Smith, junior trainees. I gestured to security. Pack 1 suitcase each. Standard employee relocations items only. As they were led away, Father touched my arm. I have a proposal for the quantum processing cooling system. The team thinks it might work. Submit it through proper channels, I replied. Just like anyone else. He smiled. A real smile, not his old social mask. Of course, that's how real innovation happens. Mother checked her tablet. I have a client meeting in 10 minutes. If you'll excuse me, I watched them head to their respective departments, transformed from social elites into actual professionals. Winston appeared with the Tokyo transfer documents. Their new identities are prepared, sir. Complete background reset. And the Project Phoenix data. Contained. They never got through the secondary security protocols you installed specifically for this scenario. I nodded. You knew they'd try something like this. Old privileges die hard, sir. But real change often requires a crisis. Through my office windows, I watched the campus growing. The old estate's formal gardens had been replaced by sustainable research facilities. The tennis courts were now solar-powered data centers. Their first performance reviews from Tokyo come directly to me. I instructed. Let's see if they can really learn this time. And your parents? I smiled slightly. Keep monitoring, but I think they're actually getting it. That evening, as Marcus and Diana boarded the corporate jet to Tokyo, in economy seats, I received 2 notifications. First, Father's cooling system proposal had passed initial review, on its own merits. Second, Mother had scored top marks on her client relations certification practice exam. Real change was possible. Sometimes it just needed a push, or in Marcus's case, a complete reset. The estate's lights shifted to evening mode, illuminating a campus where success had to be earned, one honest step at a time. 6 months after the crisis, I stood in my office reviewing 2 very different reports. The first was from our Tokyo office, detailing the progress of Mark and Dana Smith, formerly Marcus and Diana Blackwood. Starting from the mailroom, they'd slowly begun to understand real work. No shortcuts, no family name to hide behind. Mark had actually earned a promotion to junior analyst, while Dana discovered a talent for logistics coordination. The second report made me smile. Father's quantum cooling system had just been approved for patent filing, while Mother's client relations department showed the highest satisfaction ratings in company history. Sir, Winston appeared with the quarterly updates. The board meeting is ready, and your parents are waiting outside. They entered, transformed from the social elites they'd once been. Father wore a practical business suit, a prototype tablet in hand. Mother's outfit was elegant but professional. her bearing now genuine, rather than artificial. Alexander, father began. We've been thinking about the Blackwood name. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, mother stepped forward. We'd like to remove it from the company. Completely. That surprised me. Explain. These past months, father continued, we've learned what you've known all along. Real success isn't about family names or inherited privilege. The client relations team suggested Innovation Dynamics as our new brand. Mother added, based on market research and actual business metrics. I studied them both. You understand what this means. No more social prestige. No more legacy status. We understand that we want to earn our place. Father replied, like our son did. Like Marcus and Diana are finally learning to do. Winston brought up the Tokyo feeds. Marcus, now Mark, was presenting a junior analysis report to his team. No arrogance, no entitled attitude, just solid work and earned respect. Diana, Dana, efficiently coordinated shipments, her former obsession with status replaced by pride and actual accomplishment. They're not ready to be Blackwoods again, Mother observed. Maybe none of us were, until we learned to be something else first. I opened my secure files. Actually, I've been considering some organizational changes. They waited, no longer assuming family privilege. Father, the innovation team wants you as their official technical director, based on merit, not name. He straightened. The cooling system patent, and the 3 other innovations you've developed. Real achievements earned through work. Mother-client relations is now our fastest growing division. The board suggests making you global director, if you complete the advanced certification. She nodded firmly. I'm halfway through the courses already. As for Marcus and Diana, I showed them the Tokyo reports. 6 more months of proven performance, and they can earn back their identities, not as privileged heirs, but as qualified professionals. And the estate? Father asked. I gestured to the thriving campus outside, already transformed into something better than a symbol of inherited wealth. Now it's a center of innovation and earned success. Mother touched the simple pendant she now wore instead of her old diamonds. We understand now, son, why you built all this from scratch, why you let us believe you were unsuccessful. Because success means nothing if you don't earn it, Father finished. Winston appeared with new documents. The company rebranding files, sir, and the updated family trust. I signed both sets. Innovation Dynamics it is. A name we'll all earn the right to represent. Through my windows, I watched the sunset illuminate our quantum research center, built where the old garden parties used to be held. The tennis courts were now solar-powered AI labs. The garage that once housed luxury cars contained prototype electric vehicles. One last thing, I said, handling them each a key card. Your new offices, you've earned them. They accepted the cards not with entitled expectation, but with genuine appreciation. The board meeting starts in 5 minutes. Winston reminded us. Quarterly innovation review. Father checked his presentation notes. Mother reviewed her client metrics. Oh, and Tokyo is online. Winston added. Mark's analysis presentation is part of the review. We walked together to the boardroom, not as the privileged Blackwood family, but as earned members of Innovation Dynamics. The estate's lights shifted to evening mode, illuminating not a symbol of inherited wealth, but a beacon of earned excellence. Sometimes losing a legacy is the only way to build something real. The end.